Hello, everyone, it's Bashbox, and I'm happy to welcome you to another video. If you have any plans to invest in the crypto market this year, we have good news for you. According to many crypto enthusiasts, 2021 is going to be the best year to invest in cryptocurrencies. We have listed 5 altcoins that can make you rich. When it comes to deciding what crypto to invest in, the choice can be somewhat overwhelming as there are thousands of cryptocurrencies available on the marketplace. So try to watch this video till the end and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. In today's video there are plenty of cryptocurrencies believed to have the potential to become big. Cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum and Litecoin are typical examples of digital currencies that offer a peer-to-peer payment system that is independent of a bank or credit card company. These cryptocurrency or coins use blockchain technology, which is designed to make transactions of all kinds secure, transparent, and accurate. The blockchain is a record of digital transactions that acts as a public ledger. Alright, so I just want to start this off by saying this is only a financial advice. You have to do your research on whatever cryptocurrency you're looking to buy. But I do strongly believe that these 5 will be here in the future. I'm going to start off with Ethereum. This is going to be my first coin I'd recommend. Now, Ethereum is the second most popular coin. It's been that way for a long time. It's up for the year. But if you can get this coin between $250 and $350, I think it's a good long-term hold just on the price appreciating going into the future. It's also one of the safer coins to get right now. I think Ethereum is connected in so many different projects and I think it's just a good one. So that's going to be my first coin. Stellar Lumen XLM is another good coin I would recommend taking a look at. Now, Stellar has fallen from grace in recent years and its future is starting to become unclear. But this doesn't mean that crypto traders should just dump it. Remember that the people behind Stellar used to work for Ripple and the two projects are perhaps the most similar in terms of what they are trying to achieve. And so, this could mean that Stellar might make the best hedge against Ripple, especially with the current situation with the SEC. If Ripple continues to struggle with regulators, we might see crypto traders who liked Ripple move to Stellar. I think the price is going to appreciate considerably. Now, Stellar wants to be to Bitcoin what Bitcoin is to traditional banks. To achieve that, it has developed a system that allows it to process payments almost instantly. As such, it has a similar purpose to Ripple's XRP. Indeed, the two have been competitors for years. But, where Ripple decided to offer its services to the banking sector, Stellar opted to target the people themselves, with no intermediaries. According to CoinSwitch, there has been a lot of positive sentiment regarding the efficiency of Stellar's blockchain payment network, arriving from XRP after Ripple was sued by the SEC for selling an unregistered security. This may also be one of the main reasons why the coin's price surged in early 2021. Cardano. Cardano has been a strong player since it entered the game back in 2015 and 2021 looks like it will be another strong year for this cryptocurrency. The key thing that stands out about Cardano is its Ouroboros blockchain, which is really 2 blockchains that work in tandem with each other. One blockchain deals with general, ordinary transactions, while the other handles smart contracts. The idea is that by separating the two, Cardano can ensure scalability and speed as the 2 types of transactions will not slow each other down. But there is also a lot more going on with Cardano than first meets the eye. Cardano is a 3rd-generation cryptocurrency that seems to be doing a lot of what Ethereum is already doing but is already using a proof-of-stake algorithm, a move Ethereum has been planning for a long time. On top of that, Cardano also uses time slots, referred to as an epoch, where transaction blocks need to be created within a certain time frame by slot leaders, who are voted for by stakeholders. And here's a little interesting fact about Cardano. Up to 95% of people who own Cardano are based in Japan, and Cardano is sometimes referred to as the Japanese Ethereum. In February 2021, Cardano got close to reaching a $30.7 billion market cap and a single coin was $1.07, pretty affordable. Some believe Cardano has a lot more to offer. Dare Shonubi, writing for Coinpedia, believes that it could reach as high as $10 by the end of 2021, which if true would make it one of the best coins to invest by far. Have you considered investing in Cardano in 2021? Bitcoin Cash, BCH, doubling up to $1,000 or tripling to $1,500. Bitcoin Cash has been a thorn in Bitcoin's side since the day the Bitcoin blockchain was forked in August 2017, and in its 3 short years, it has garnered a lot of attention from some big names. Bitcoin Jesus, Roger Ver, is often regarded as the face behind Bitcoin Cash, previously being a very adamant supporter of Bitcoin. Like many Bitcoin Cash supporters, he believes that the original Bitcoin has changed far too much from what it was intended to be. Bitcoin Cash supporters point to how Bitcoin has adopted things like the Lightning Network and SegWit2x, which they believe are unnecessary and move away from Nakamoto's original vision shown in his white paper. However, the Bitcoin Cash team are now working towards implementing smart contracts, which many believe is a huge contraction. Some felt so strongly about this, they jumped ship again, this time to create Bitcoin SV. Another key thing Bitcoin Cash has over Bitcoin is much cheaper fees for transactions as well as being a lot cheaper to invest in too. Despite all the drama, Bitcoin Cash still has plenty of opportunities to invest and make a handsome fortune. In 2020, Bitcoin Cash's highest point was in February where it reached almost a $9 billion market cap, getting close to $500 per coin. And then 1 year later in February 2021, the price of BCH hit $695 per coin. Experts have agreed that the coin could be valued at $1,500 by the very end of 2021. Financial analyst Crispus Niaga, writing for Investing Cube, gave a more grounded forecast, believing BCH will reach $1,000 this year. And lastly, Uniswap. Uniswap is an Ethereum-based dApp for exchanging Ethereum tokens through liquidity pools. Their team's goal is to remove the barrier of entry into the financial markets by connecting it with the decentralized finance (DeFi) ecosystem. Recently, Uniswap also achieved a milestone of processing over $100 billion in transactions in regard to cumulative volumes. Uniswap features. Uniswap is a decentralized exchange where users can swap any token with the famed ERC-20 protocol employed by Ethereum, such as USDT, DAI, and many more. Uniswap makes it super easy to swap an ERC-20 token with another ERC-20 token with a few clicks by connecting MetaMask or other compatible wallets to the exchange. Another key features of any DEX is to provide more privacy protection than centralized exchanges. These protocols are permissionless in that they do not require any KYC, know your customer, and anyone can trade without registering into the market. Hence, Uniswap is a protocol that allows buyers and sellers to exchange ERC-20 tokens in a trustless manner. Interestingly, swaps in Uniswap are different from trades on traditional platforms. Uniswap does not use any order book for liquidity or to manage prices. It uses an automated market maker mechanism to provide instant feedback on rates and slippage. Uniswap was introduced in September 2020. Uniswap's Uni is a governance token that was distributed according to a set release schedule. 4,000 Uni tokens were airdropped and offered to users who had previously used Uniswap services. For those interested in trading them, exchanges, such as Bityard and, of course, Uniswap itself. Those free tokens are now worth an eye-watering approximately $12,000, making Uni definitely one to watch in 2021. Remember that as with any investment, it's important to determine your risk tolerance. Conduct thorough research and monitor your positions carefully. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you. What is cryptocurrency staking? Explained in layman's terms. What is staking? Staking means holding cryptocurrency or tokens to support a network operation and getting a reward for it. Naturally, this process is typical for blockchains using the PoS protocol or any of its versions. Staking brings in the concepts of familiarity, engagement, and reward into the ecosystem. In this article, we will provide you with the complete guide on staking and glance at its working, benefits, and much more. Let us look into this review in detail now. What is staking? Staking generally refers to the holding of your cryptocurrency funds in a wallet and hence supporting the functionality of a blockchain system. The cryptos are being locked in their wallets by the stakeholders. They are then rewarded by the network in return. Staking provides a way of making an income. Staking is a process similar to having a savings account with your bank and earning interest on the deposits. Staking is a great addition to the cryptocurrency space, which offers notable applications. Staking also brings the aspects of familiarity, engagement, and reward into the ecosystem. This makes the investment all the more worthwhile. What is proof of stake? PoS. Proof of stake is a protocol that allows the participants to stake the coins. It then randomly grants one of them the right to validate the next block at unique intervals. The chances of getting chosen are dependent on the number of coins. There are higher chances if you have a higher amount of the coins locked up. Sonny King and Scott Nadal initially implemented proof of stake in their Peercoin 2012 paper. They were the first to describe and implement this idea for the crypto project Peercoin, PPC. Originally, its blockchain was using a hybrid of PoW and PoS. The development of the blocks is dependent on the ability of the proof of work protocol to solve the hash challenges. However, in the case of proof of stake, it is determined by the amount of the staking coins held by the users. What is the delegated proof of stake, DPoS? An updated and modified version of PoS was then introduced by a crypto entrepreneur, Daniel Larimer. This has been called Delegated Stake Proof, DPoS. BitShares was the first network to adopt this protocol. In DPoS, the crypto holdings of all the users of the network are converted into votes. These votes are further used to elect trusted delegates. The delegates validate and check the overall transactions and the normal functionality of the network. The bigger is your stake, the more powerful your vote. As a stakeholder, you get a regular reward for keeping your crypto in the network. DPoS improves network capacity by increasing the speed of transaction processing. It is achieved as the DPoS model allows reaching consensus much faster, since it needs fewer nodes to validate a transaction. However, delegate proof of stake usage promotes centralization. How does staking work? Unlike PoW, this protocol does not rely on miners who validate blocks by doing the work. This work consists of solving math puzzles using increasingly powerful mining hardware. Instead, the mining power of any network participant depends on how many coins they commit to stake. It allows a PoS-based blockchain to avoid usage of ASICs and other equipment that consumes a great amount of electricity. New blocks are produced and validated. The coins are locked up by the validators and are randomly selected by the protocol to create a block at the specific intervals. Typically, participants with greater stakes are more likely to be selected as the next block validator. Advantages of staking: it increases your chances of becoming the validator for the next block with the increase in the amount of stake. Thus, there are increased chances of grabbing the reward. The proof of stake model also helps in saving a lot of money. It eliminates the need for investing money in expensive mining hardware and cooling equipment. Further, there is also no need to pay for the huge electricity bills every month. The money you spend is accounted for as direct cryptocurrency investment. Every proof of stake network features its own staking currency. Staking also ensures increased scalability. Few modern solutions. Platforms like MyCointainer allows you to stake many coins in one place. The decision-making is delegated to the trusted nodes. These delegates deal with issues of much importance and are responsible for blockchain handling. They play a key role in consensus achievement and make management decisions. Staking pool. A staking pool is formed with the combination of many network stakeholders together. It further increases their chances of validating a new block and also getting rewarded for it. The rewards are proportionately distributed within all the participants, similar to the proof-of-work mining pool. You earn a bigger share with the more amount of money you invest in it. If your network has a high entry barrier, then pooling might be the best staking solution. But you need to invest a large amount of money to enter the pool. In addition, the maintenance and development costs to be considered as running a pool is not free. There is usually the membership fee that has to be provided to the pool providers. It is usually taken as a fixed percentage from the share rewarded. Besides, pools may offer some of the additional benefits related to withdrawal time, minimum balance, etc. It further attracts new participants, resulting in a greater degree of decentralization of the network. Cold staking. The process of staking the cryptos using a cold or hardware wallet is known as cold staking. There is no connection to the internet in a cold wallet. The funds are allowed to stake in the cold storage by most of the networks. It can also be done with the help of the air-gapped software wallet. One of the major advantages of cold staking is that the funds are completely safe and secure. It is generally one of the main priorities for large stakeholders. It is particularly used by them who want to ensure the maximum protection and safety of their funds along with supporting the network. They are being devoid of the rewards if the stakeholder takes the crypto out of the cold wallet. Future of staking. As staking is becoming increasingly popular, there is an increase in the number of users involved in the staking process. They are seeking to invest their assets to participate in blockchain management. Further, the entry process is tending to be much more user-friendly to cope up with the demands of the users. This would result in more people taking an active part in the development of their blockchain ecosystems. Conclusion. In conclusion, staking is a creative and innovative investment tool. It can compete with traditional ones in terms of stability. In terms of the growth potential of the assets, it is superior to them. Proof of stake and staking creates more opportunities for anyone likely to participate in the consensus and governance of blockchains. In addition, it is regarded as an easy way to earn passive income by simply holding coins. Complete blockchain guide. Understand blockchain in minutes. With the evolution of human beings over thousands of years, from the Stone Age to the digital era that we are in right now, we can most certainly state that we have come a long way. Human beings evolve. The technology associated with them also evolves, and so do the financial models over hundreds of years. We are moving from fiat currencies to digital currencies. The fiat currency used a physical ledger, such as books, to keep records of transactions, but these were prone to various errors. Although ledgers are now in the form of servers, they are still centralized and under the authority of banks or institutions. Hence, automated digital ledgers were sought after to address all the issues related to the centralized ledger. This is where blockchain technology kicks in. With changing trends in finance, many major financial institutions like banks and governments have started adopting technology to bring transparency and efficiency to their day-to-day operations. These integrations of the worlds of finance and technology have been coined as fintech or financial technology. This article focuses on the aspects which are essential to know about blockchain, its working, different types of blockchains, what are the best case scenarios to use blockchain, why is it being called the future of data centers, and more. So let's learn more about this technology. What is blockchain? Unless you have been on a long nomadic trip or have been living under a rock, you would have come across a term called cryptocurrency, the likes of Bitcoin and Ethereum. The transactions of these cryptocurrencies are carried out digitally since these are virtual currencies. This is where blockchain technology comes into play. Blockchain is a decentralized, distributed ledger technology that records the origin and existence of digital assets using a peer-to-peer network. In simple words, a large set of a database that permanently records all the digital currency transactions. Transactions take place on a peer-to-peer basis, unlike on centralized data systems of banks. These data blocks are added only after all the other nodes authenticate the transactions and reach a common consensus. It is sometimes referred to as distributed ledger technology, DLT, which aids the distribution of digital asset transactions, not copied or transferred. This revolutionary technology is a savior, which the digital assets rely on for transparency. Blockchain reduces the risk of fraud and dependence on third-party verification. Block consists of data related to digital asset transactions, a unique hash number, and a unique block header. The succeeding block consists of the hash number previously formed block. These blocks are connected such that it becomes a chain of blocks, hence named blockchain. Let's consider an analogy. Blockchains can be considered as a large set of data storing structures that are identical to spreadsheets, but you cannot edit the data once that enters, and any changes to that data should constitute a new block, or append. These sets of data are not stored in one single centralized server but on a lot of its users' devices, hence distributed. Of course, there are more functionalities to the blockchain, but this must give you a very simple idea to define this not so easily definable technology. History of blockchain. The idea of blockchain protocol was first proposed by cryptographer David Chaum in his 1982 dissertation, Computer Systems Established, Maintained, and Trusted by Mutually Suspicious Groups. However, the year 1991 was regarded as important for the blockchain, when computer scientists Stuart Haber and W. Scott Stornetta introduced a practical solution for timestamping digital documents so that they could not tamper. The technology or the system uses the secured chain of blocks backed by the cryptography method to store the timestamp documents. Merkle-Tree in 1992 came up with the blockchain's design to make it more efficient by allowing several documents to be collected and stored in one block. But unfortunately, the patent lapsed in the year 2004. After this, Stefan Const published his theory of cryptographically secured chains, plus ideas for implementation. Computer scientist Nick Szabo works on BitGold, a decentralized digital currency. Hal Finney, a computer scientist and cryptographic analyst, introduced the reusable proof of work, RPAL. It can be considered as the earliest prototype for blockchain technology. However, it took almost 3 decades to see the first blockchain implementation in the real world by a person, or group of people, known as Satoshi Nakamoto in 2008. Nakamoto significantly improved the design using a hashcash-like method to timestamp blocks without requiring them to be signed by a trusted party. Types of blockchain. There are at least 4 main types of blockchains that are in use: public blockchains, private blockchains, hybrid blockchain, and sidechain. 1. Public blockchains. As the name suggests, these types of blockchains have no access restrictions. These are usually open source and are transparent to everybody with internet access. Anybody can take part in the process of validation to submit the proof of work and may be incentivized proportionately. Another very important feature of a public blockchain is that it is designed to be not owned by an organization or an individual, hence completely decentralized. X. Bitcoin blockchain, Ethereum blockchain, etc. 2. Private blockchains. Private blockchains, also called permissioned blockchains, unlike public blockchains, have restrictions on who can access the network. These are administered by an administrator, who approves the access of users in the ecosystem. Primary users may include individuals or companies who want their transactions or data to be secure and only accessible by the selected few, hence centralized. The advantage of private blockchain over the public blockchain is that the consensus or verification mechanism takes less time. The similarities between blockchain are that these perform similar functions. Both function as an append-only ledger where no data can be altered or edited once validated. Both blockchains types have a complete set of transaction ledgers on each node, hence distributed over peer-to-peer. Validation is only approved after the majority of the nodes reach a consensus. Examples: Ripple, XRP, and Hyperledger 3. Hybrid blockchain. Hybrid blockchains are a combination of public and private blockchain systems depending on the needs of the users and the applications. These types are best for companies that are working on some secret projects hosted on a private blockchain, but also have a product that needs to be used by their customers, hence should be a public blockchain. 4. Sidechain. Sidechains can be classified to be blockchain ledgers that can run in parallel with the primary blockchain. Entries from primary sources can be stored and linked if needed, with a different algorithm. It could be used as a backup blockchain. How does blockchain work? Blockchain is a distributed, decentralized public ledger which is a continuously appending list of records that are stored in the form of blocks. These blocks in a blockchain are secured through cryptography, which keeps the confidentiality of the transactions intact. A blockchain is a time-stamped series of immutable, tamper-proof records of data that is not managed by a central authority but managed by a cluster of computers, called nodes. So imagine, John wants to invest in digital assets, so he has to carry out transactions, and he does that on an electronic device. When John requests blockchain for a transaction, he gets connected to a person directly without the interference of any third party like a bank. This is called a peer-to-peer system. A block is initiated for storing the transaction details. The data formed at this level is sent throughout the network to identify the transaction's authenticity. The first device, node, that verifies the transaction gets awarded. When John's transaction gets verified, it becomes a part of this database permanently that stores all the transactions. This database is used additionally to validate other such transactions on a peer-to-peer network, if necessary. If John wants to sell his digital assets to another person, the original block created while he purchased the digital assets will remain the same. To record the new transaction between John and the buyer, a new block will be created on the blockchain network with another unique number. Let's consider an example. A scientific research lab that is conducting trials for a vaccine against a deadly virus. Every iteration of the vaccine trial is to be recorded to observe the progress. If the data of vaccine trials are saved on a server database, there are chances that the data stored may get formatted, deleted, or can be erased, manipulated by hackers. But in blockchain, one can neither erase the data that is once stored nor can they manipulate it. It is so safe that it has not been hacked despite all the efforts. Any changes to the data result in the creation of a new block, and the previous version of that data remains in its original form. Mainly, this data can be accessed from any part of the world, if the system is connected with the blockchain platform. Also, the transaction when completed produces data related to transactions and will be stored in blocks, which are chained together with the help of the hash number of the previous block. Regarding safety, the network is decentralized. No single person can alter the asset according to their specific needs but has to be validated by the majority of the nodes. As long as a single organization or a person owns the majority of the assets over the blockchain network, the assets on the network cannot be modified or altered. Hence it is safe. Evolution of the blockchain technology. All the inventions need timely upgrades to solve the issues related to the previous version and for better performance. Blockchain technology also has been modernized over time and requirements. Bitcoin, currency. Cryptocurrency, mainly Bitcoin, is the first use case of blockchain technology. It allows financial transactions based on DLT. Smart contracts. After the blockchain technology was separated from Bitcoin to discover more use cases, the Ethereum blockchain came into existence aiming to execute smart contracts. It is intended to reduce the cost of verification, execution, and fraud prevention. Smart contracts are the predefined computer programs that contain the terms and conditions of the agreements between the two parties. They cannot be altered or changed. dApps. DApps or decentralized applications work similar to other normal applications, but the only difference is that dApps work on peer-to-peer networks such as blockchain. Blockchain for business. Blockchain 4.0 aims at implementing blockchain 3.0 in real-life commercial usage. Some of the real-life use cases are supply chain management, financial sectors, and healthcare. Different types of consensus protocols used for validating transactions on the blockchain. A consensus algorithm is a procedure through which all the peers of the blockchain network reach a common agreement about the present state of the distributed ledger. In this way, consensus algorithms achieve reliability in the blockchain network and establish trust between unknown peers in a distributed computing environment. New blocks in the blockchains are added only after the transaction details are verified and the consensus is reached. Benefits of blockchain in cryptocurrency. The need for a physical or trust-based validation process is eliminated. Better speed of transactions. Better connectivity in a peer-to-peer system. Transactions may be carried out irrespective of time, location, unlike banking processes. Accessible from anywhere in the world. Lower transaction charges. Lower transaction failure risks. No risk of double spending. Less fear of account suspensions. No need to secure a minimum balance to carry out transactions. Future of blockchain. Blockchain has advanced over years and has proved its trustworthy technology. It is easily scalable as a data structure. Blockchain can be used by banking sectors, as card payment transaction ledgers, in stock markets for keeping a record of stock delivery and verify with ease. Blockchain enables us to perform more transactions digitally and reduces the risks involved in the present system. The current financial system works on the trustworthiness of the financial institutions or the governments. The blockchain system reduces the transaction charges significantly since the verification is done by algorithms in a matter of minutes, without third parties such as banks and financial institutions. Possible use case scenarios of blockchains in the future. Maintaining medical records of the patients in hospitals, payments or asset transfers around any parts of the world, real-time IoT operating systems, personal identity security, anti-money laundering tracking system, supply chain management and logistics monitoring, the voting mechanism for democratic countries, keeping records of governance or history, advertising insights, original content creation, cryptocurrency exchange, the real estate processing platform. Blockchain, since its inception in 2008, has proved its worth over the current systems in place, which is less efficient. Understanding the importance of technology, many central banks and governments have shown interest to study and adopt blockchain for good. Although there is room for improvement, it is to be observed how technology will be implemented by various beneficiary industries. How secure is business data in a blockchain? The record on a blockchain is theoretically immutable to change. Sensitive or non-public information can be protected through the use of smart contracts, but this has yet to be put into practice outside of financial institutions. Who establishes the governance model for determining what users may or may not join the blockchain ledger? Blockchain governance is determined by those who set up the system. Changes to the governance can take place through voting, similar to the resolving algorithms of transaction consensus. Is blockchain technology restricted only for use in the cryptocurrency market? No, it depends solely on the business and kind of data you want to store. Looking at the economics, importance of the data stored, and viability of the business. What is consortium blockchain? These blockchains are designed to be administered privately by multiple administrators or organizations, who may be working on the same kind of subjects that may be of mutual interest. These blockchains are not made public unless deemed by the administrators. What is encryption and why is it important in blockchain? Encryption is the process of converting the easily readable and interpretable data into unreadable data for the common user, using targeted encryption algorithms. The people who only have access to the decrypting algorithm can access the data. Since blockchains can be used to store and keep records of data related to finance, the internal security of organizations, or any other sensitive information, to be kept secure from potential hackers who could misuse the information. A quick guide on what is liquidity pool. You may have come across the theory of liquidity pools in the DeFi ecosystem. But what are liquidity pools and how do they function? And why, in decentralized finance, do we really need them? Liquidity pools provide a new standard to effectively trade shares while helping investors obtain a return on their investments. Here, we will discuss how they operate, their primary advantages and its overall aspects. Let us look into detail in this in-depth review now. What are liquidity pools? Liquidity pools apply to the pool of tokens locked in the smart contract. By offering liquidity, they guarantee trade and are used widely by some of the decentralized exchanges. Bancor made one of the first initiatives to incorporate liquidity pools, and Uniswap made it widely popular. Liquidity pools are the trading aspect of a decentralized exchange. Their role is to increase the market's liquidity among market participants. How do liquidity pools work? In its simplest form, a single liquidity pool contains two tokens and each pool establishes a new market for the same pair of tokens. DAI/ETH may be a clear example of a popular liquidity pool at Uniswap. The first liquidity provider when a new pool is created is the one who decides the initial price of the assets in the pool. The liquidity provider is encouraged to provide to the pool an equivalent value of all tokens. Based on the liquidity supplied to a pool, the liquidity provider, LP, receives special tokens called LP tokens in proportion to how much liquidity they supply to the pool. A 0.3% cost is proportionally allocated to all LP token holders when a sale is enabled by the pool. They would burn their LP tokens if the liquidity provider wishes to get their underlying liquidity back, plus any unpaid fees. According to a deterministic pricing algorithm, each token swap encouraged by a liquidity pool results in a price shift. This process is also called an automatic market maker, AMM. A constant commodity market maker algorithm is used by basic liquidity pools such as those used by Uniswap, which means that the quantities of the two tokens given still stays the same. On top of that, a pool will still have liquidity, no matter how massive a trade is, because of the algorithm. The primary reason for this is that, as the target quantity increases, the algorithm asymptotically increases the token's price. The importance of liquidity. The fact that liquidity is so important is that it largely determines how an asset's price can shift. A relatively limited number of open orders are open on all sides of the order book in a low liquidity market. This suggests that one transaction could shift the price in any direction significantly, making the stocks unpredictable and unattractive. Liquidity pools are an important part of the revolution of decentralized finance, DeFi, which appears to have great potential. Usually, these pools facilitate the swap of a large number of assets with any other supported asset. What are liquidity pools in DeFi? Liquidity pools aim to address the low liquidity problem successfully and thus guarantee that the price of a token does not swing significantly after performing the order of a single large trade. Decentralized exchanges offer bonuses to those who invest into the liquidity pools in order to maximize customer engagement. The user has to deposit money into the liquidity pool to engage and reap the benefits. Liquidity pools are being regulated by one or more smart contract protocols. The amount of funds that need to be invested and the proportionate ratio of each token will vary between different DeFi platforms. How to participate in a liquidity pool? To deliver $50 of liquidity into an ETH/USDC pool, it needs a deposit of $50 worth of ETH and $50 USDC. A total deposit of $100 is required in this situation. In return to it, the liquid provider will collect liquidity pool tokens. Such tokens reflect their proportional pool share and allow them to withdraw their pool share at any time. Anytime a seller places a trade, a trading fee is deducted from the transaction and the order is sent to the smart contract containing the liquidity pool. The trading fee is set at 0.3% for most decentralized exchanges. In our case, if you deposit $50 ETH and $50 USDC and you make up 1% of the pool with your donation, you will then get 1% of the 0.3% trading fee for any of the particular trade. How do liquidity pool exchanges work? There are two types of decentralized exchanges in the DeFi space at present, which are 1. Order book exchanges. The order book exchanges depend on a bid-ask scheme to satisfy transactions. Orders get redirected to an order book when a new buy or sale order is made. Then the matching engine of the exchange executes matching orders for the same price. Examples: 0x and Radar Relay 2, liquidity pools exchanges. They exclude emphasis on order book dealing from the exchange. Thus they enable the exchange to ensure the liquidity level is steady. Example: Kyber, Uniswap, and Curve Finance. Advantages of liquidity pools: 1. Guaranteed liquidity at every price level. Traders do not have to be directly connected to other traders, because liquidity is constant as long as customers have their assets invested in the pool. 2. Automated pricing enables passive market making. Liquidity providers actually deposit their funds into the pool and pricing is taken care of by the smart contract. 3. Anyone can become a liquidity provider and earn. Liquidity pools do not need any listing fees, KYCs, or other obstacles linked with centralized exchanges. If an investor wants to provide liquidity to the pool, they will deposit the equivalent value of the assets. 4. Lower gas fees. The gas costs are reduced due to the minimal smart contract design offered by decentralized exchanges like Uniswap. Effective price calculations and fee allocations within the pool imply less volatility between transactions. Returns. The returns from the liquidity pool depend on 3 factors. 1. The asset prices when delivered and withdrawn. 2. The size of the liquidity pool, and 3. The trading volumes. It is very important to remember that, relative to what they originally invested, investors would actually end up removing a particular ratio of assets. This is where the market movement can either work for or against. Liquidity pool risks. And of course, like with everything in DeFi, we have to remember about potential risks. Some of the liquidity risks associated are listed below. Impairment loss, possible smart contract bugs. Liquidity pool hacks. Systemic risks. Token. Like all other tokens, a user can use the liquidity pool tokens during the period of the smart contract. A user can therefore deposit this token on a different platform that accepts the liquidity pool token in order to get additional yield to maximize the return. Therefore, the user can compound 2 or 3 interest rates by using yield farming, and eventually increase the returns. Conclusion: liquidity pools offer easy-to-use platform for both users and exchanges. The user does not have to meet any special eligibility criteria to participate in liquidity pools, which means that anyone can participate in the provision of liquidity for a token pair. Thus, in the DeFi ecosystem, liquidity pools play an essential role, and the concept has been able to enhance the level of decentralization. Peer-to-peer, P2P, network, the complete guide. Welcome to another Bassbox video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more videos. Without any further delays, let's get started. Peer-to-peer network. Sharing information and resources is an important part of information technology. A peer-to-peer, P2P, network could help your business grow more efficiently by improving the connectivity and access to shared resources. A peer-to-peer network is a platform in which 2 or more computer systems connect in order to share resources. In this article, we will provide you the complete guide on the peer-to-peer, P2P, network and its overall aspects. Let us look into this review in detail now. What is the P2P network? A peer-to-peer, P2P, network generally refers to a group of devices that store and share files. Each participant or node here acts as an individual peer. Usually, all nodes perform the same tasks and have equal power. In terms of financial technology, the word peer-to-peer usually refers to the exchange of cryptocurrencies or digital assets through a distributed network. Without any intermediaries involved, a P2P platform allows the buyers and sellers to execute trades. Also, some websites grant a P2P environment that connects lenders and borrowers. How does P2P network work? With no central administrator or server, a P2P system is usually maintained by a distributed network of users. This is because each node holds a copy of the files, which acts both as a client and as a server to other nodes. In the traditional client-server systems, client devices download files from a centralized server, whereas each node can download files from other nodes or upload files to them in P2P networks. Here, the connected devices share files that are stored on their hard drives. Using software applications, users can query other devices on the network to find and download files. Once a user has downloaded a given file, they can then act as a source of that file. P2P networks tend to be faster and more efficient as every node stores, transmits, and receives files. Also, P2P systems are very resistant to cyberattacks due to their distributed architecture. Unlike traditional models, P2P networks do not have a single point of failure. P2P network types 1. Unstructured P2P networks. The unstructured P2P networks are comparatively easier to build. Since the search queries are sent out to the highest number of peers possible, they may require higher CPU and memory usage. This, in turn, tends to flood the network with queries. These systems are resistant to high churn rates. Churn means the number of users joining and leaving the network. The lack of structure can make it difficult for users to find rare content. 2. Structured P2P networks. The structured P2P networks provide a specific organized architecture. It allows the nodes to efficiently search for files. These are not easy to build when compared to the unstructured P2P networks. These systems are less resistant to high churn rates. 3. Hybrid P2P networks. Hybrid P2P networks merge the conventional client-server model with some aspects of the peer-to-peer architecture. There are wide varieties of hybrid networks. Hybrid models tend to present improved overall performance when compared to the other two types. P2P network applications. 1. File sharing. File sharing is the process of providing the files and giving access for the users to download over the internet. File sharing makes use of the peer-to-peer network model, where the personal computers of the users are regarded as the peers in the network. Peer-to-peer file sharing differs from file trading in that downloading files from a peer-to-peer network does not require uploading. 2. Bioinformatics. Peer-to-peer networks have also started to grab attention from various scientists, especially those working with large datasets such as bioinformatics. Peer-to-peer networks can be used to run large programs that handle large amounts of data. For example, tests to identify drug candidates. This is possible since peer-to-peer networks scale well. 3. Artificial intelligence. Swarm intelligence, SI, is an artificial intelligence technique based around the study of collective behavior in decentralized, self-organized systems. A peer-to-peer network can be used to build the swarm intelligence where each peer in the network refers to a single agent. 4. Grid computing. Grid computing is a rising computer model that gives the ability to perform high-throughput computing, usually through the internet, to solve large-scale computation problems. Grids use the resources of many separate computers, peers, connected by a network. Grids provide the ability to perform computations on large datasets, by breaking them down into many smaller ones. P2P network limitations. The use of P2P networks on blockchains also poses some of the limitations. Adding transactions to a blockchain requires a massive amount of computing power. This is because distributed ledgers must be updated on every single node instead of on a central server. This provides good security, but it greatly limits efficiency. This is one of the major obstacles when it comes to scalability and widespread adoption. Some of the notable examples include the Ethereum Plasma, Lightning Network, and the Mimblewimble protocol. During hard fork events, the attacks that may take place is another potential limitation. The groups of nodes are free to copy and modify the code and split away from the main chain to form a new, parallel network. Both chains may become vulnerable to replay attacks if the required security methods are not adopted properly. In addition, the distributed nature of P2P networks makes them relatively difficult to control and regulate. Several P2P applications and companies got involved with illegal activities and copyright infringements. In conclusion, peer-to-peer architecture is at the core of the blockchains that make cryptocurrencies possible. It can be developed and used in many different ways. By distributing transaction ledgers across large networks of nodes, P2P architecture offers security, censorship resistance, and decentralization. P2P systems find their extensive applications in blockchain technology. Ranging from file-sharing networks to energy trading platforms, P2P systems can also serve other distributed computing applications. Peer-to-peer computing is an emerging technology that is continuously evolving and finding new applications. It is believed that the technology will be increasingly important as new areas adopt it. If you enjoyed this video, we would like to hear your thoughts, comments, and don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you for your time. What is decentralized exchange? A comprehensive guide. DEX, a cryptocurrency exchange, is a platform that allows its users to convert the fiat currency into cryptocurrency and vice versa. The exchanges also allow the conversion between different cryptocurrency tokens. They play an integral role in the cryptocurrency industry, as it would be nearly impossible to trade and use crypto tokens without them. Decentralized exchanges, also known as DEXs, are in a stage of rapid growth at the moment. They offer an alternative for any of the user who does not want to trust a third party with their funds. In this article, we will provide the complete guide on the decentralized exchanges and check out its overall aspects. Let us look in detail in this review now. What is a decentralized exchange? A decentralized exchange is a platform that eliminates the middleman and allows the users to trade cryptocurrency directly with one another. This ensures that the traders are in full control of the funds at all times of the transaction. The decentralized exchanges eliminate the risk of hacking due to the distributed network of the nodes. They also overcome the issue of the server downtime, which is faced by the users during trading. They provide an open and transparent network that makes the crypto trading accessible to everyone. There are several decentralized exchanges that are already live and offering peer-to-peer trading across a range of cryptos. How is a DEX different from a centralized exchange? In the case of the centralized exchanges, the funds and the order books are being held by the server while a transaction takes place. However, there is no involvement of a central server in case of the decentralized exchanges. This is because the participants of the transaction control the funds of the users. It is difficult to keep the users anonymous in centralized exchanges. However, all the transactions are anonymous and are encrypted in the case of the decentralized exchanges. This enables users to enjoy their privacy without disclosing all their personal details. The decentralized exchanges subsequently minimize the risks of hacking and server downtime due to the distributed nature of the network. The fees offered are also minimal when compared to the centralized exchanges. Benefits of DEX: 1. Faster and cheaper transactions. The decentralized exchanges are able to perform faster transactions as it eliminates the involvement of third party. It also helps in the reduction of the overall fees associated. 2. Secure. The decentralized exchanges are comparatively safer than the centralized exchanges, as the user information is not being stored on a central server. The attack remains localized even if the hacker gains access to the user's information, instead of the whole network. 3. Integration with hardware wallets. The decentralized exchange provides the ability to integrate directly with a hardware wallet like Trezor and Ledger Nano S. The users can directly transfer from their hardware wallets to the smart contracts offered by the decentralized exchanges. 4. Users control funds. The funds are in the control of the users instead of a central authority in the decentralized exchanges. As it uses the peer-to-peer network architecture, the control of funds is always in the hands of users. The private keys remain in control of the user and are not shared with the exchange. How does decentralized exchange work? All of the decentralized exchanges work pretty much in the same manner. The working can be briefly described as follows. Step 1. The user brings the funds like ETH, which are then stored in the form of proxy tokens in the network of the exchange. Step 2. Then these coins function as collateral for the actual coins stored in the exchange. Step 3. To carry out a trade, an order is sent by the client to sell the tokens in the exchange. Step 4. Further, the proxy tokens are exchanged between the two parties. Step 5. After receiving tokens, both parties can convert them to the actual currency, using the same trading channel or a different one. Top trending decentralized exchanges. 1. IDEX. IDEX is one of the popular decentralized exchanges. It is focused on trading Ethereum-based ERC-20 tokens. Overall, the exchange provides a well-developed interface and also amongst the top decentralized exchanges in terms of volume. 2. EtherDelta. EtherDelta is another decentralized exchange that is specifically built for trading Ethereum ERC-20 tokens and Ethereum pairs. The entire exchange is powered by Ethereum-based smart contracts. These are responsible for managing deposits, withdrawals, and wallet integration. EtherDelta also provides a user-friendly interface. 3. Kyber Network. Kyber Network is one of the popular liquid Ethereum-based decentralized exchanges for cryptocurrencies. This exchange is based on peer-to-peer protocol. The users can log in directly through the wallet of their choice and begin trading. 4. BISQ, BitSquare. BISQ, unlike traditional exchanges, does not require extensive information for registration or approval from a central authority. The traders can just download the app and instantly start trading assets. The system is peer-to-peer and free from a single point of failure. The main advantage of BISQ is probably its support for fiat currencies. 5. Bancor Network. Bancor Network is a smart contract-powered decentralized exchange. It solves the problem of liquidity faced by many decentralized exchanges. Bancor has a very stable network, and the platform is less volatile. Bancor has an excellent web application with a great interface that can be used by the users to perform the simple functions of buying and selling cryptocurrencies. Pros and cons. Pros. You retain control of your funds. You do not have to trust a third party to safely manage your coins and tokens. They provide increased privacy to traders. No risk of server downtime. Lower trading fees than centralized exchanges. The decentralized nature reduces the risk of government regulation or crackdowns. Cons. Not easy to use as conventional exchanges. It can be confusing for the new users. They do not provide advanced trading tools as centralized exchanges. They do not offer as much liquidity as centralized exchanges. Some platforms offer limited customer support. Lack of regulation may concern some users. Limitations. There are some functions such as margin trading, stop loss, and others which are devoid by the decentralized exchanges. These features can cause some limitations in the trader's performance. Centralized exchanges are relatively easy to use. However, users have to pass through various smart contracts in the case of the decentralized exchanges. Hence, they are not much user-friendly compared to the centralized exchanges. Conclusion. One of the notable factors of the decentralized exchange is security. As it does not hold the funds of the users in a central reserve, they are not vulnerable to any sorts of hacks or theft. At the same time, they do not require the personal information of the users in order to protect their privacy. The decentralized exchanges also help in reducing the trading fees as it eliminates the job of the middleman. Thus, for traders who like keeping up with crypto market trends, it is worth considering using decentralized exchanges. How and why was Bitcoin created? In 2008, a person or group of people with a pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto published a white paper defining Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. Later, on January 9, 2009, its code got released as open source, and Satoshi Nakamoto started to mine Bitcoins. Satoshi, after being involved in Bitcoin development till December 2010. That is about all the information about Nakamoto, available in the public domain. Now that we know who created Bitcoin, it is crucial to understand why it got constituted. Welcome to yet another video from Bashfox. I am glad to have you guys once again. If you are new to this channel, kindly click on the subscribe button and notification bell down below, so you get to be the first to know whenever we post similar videos like this. Without further ado, let's dive into the video. The idea behind creating the decentralized currency was to create an ecosystem parallel with the centralized system of economy which is administered by the rules set by the authorities, where the people had to trust the central bank to uphold the value of its currency. The currency operated completely under the discretion of the government. One classic example would be the financial crisis of 2008, which was caused due to bad loans issued by the banks, and in return, the banks who were alleged of the crisis were bailed out using taxpayer money or the public exchequer. The point being, tax collected from the common people was used to save banks, despite being the accused. This displays the discretionary powers of the government. Many common people lost their life savings and jobs, resulting in huge recessions. How does Bitcoin work? Bitcoin is a digital currency that needs a platform to record its transactions called a ledger. Bitcoins use blockchain, another revolutionary technology for a ledger operation. Before we move further, let me give you a brief on blockchain technology. Blockchain, also called distributed ledger technology, forms the bedrock of Bitcoin by keeping records of all the transactions. Since this is open source and a public ledger, any user can access the transactions for verification. This system also eliminates the need for third-party verification, eliminating the trust-based transactions that currency banking systems follow. Bitcoin has some key terms. A public key, private key, wallet. The public key is the location where transactions are deposited into and withdrawn. This key represents the holder's digital signature on the blockchain ledger, similar to a username on a social media newsfeed. The private key is the password required to buy, sell, and trade the Bitcoin in a wallet. A private key should be a guarded secret and only used to authorize Bitcoin transmissions. Some users protect their private keys by encrypting a wallet with a strong password and, in some cases, by choosing the cold storage option. That is, storing the wallet offline. Let us consider an example of how Bitcoin transactions get executed on a peer-to-peer basis. John wanted to buy Bitcoin from Jerry. He needed to install a program on his digital device called a Bitcoin wallet, that would have a public key, acting as John's address to receive Bitcoin. John can now send Jerry his public key, who wants to sell Bitcoins in exchange for US dollars. After John transfers money to Jerry's bank account, Jerry will authorize the transaction using his private key, addressed to John's public address. This transaction gets executed through blockchain. Blockchain validates the transaction by comparing it with the majority of transaction pattern records over its database. Only after this process gets completed, the transaction is permanently recorded over the blockchain network. Hence paid to John. John can now access the Bitcoin in his wallet using his private key. A cryptocurrency wallet is an application used to store cryptocurrencies. There are many types of wallets like hot wallets, cold wallets, used on different platforms like mobile, desktop, etc. How is Bitcoin generated? Bitcoin is produced by a method called cryptocurrency mining. The method of verifying the transactions to gain rewards, using significant computing power to form a block, is called mining. Blocks contain information based on transactions, a nonce, 64-bit, a hash number, 256-bit, of the previous block. Note that you have to have significant access to electricity and should be able to maintain your computing rigs, hence called mining rigs. The verification of transactions is accepted only when the newly formed block contains proof of work. How is the process of finding a unique number called nonce. You need not do any calculations or math manually. All you have to do is have a capable electronic device and install the application which the creators prefer. The CPU or GPU in your device will do those calculations for you. It may be mandatory in some cases to keep the electronic devices connected to the internet. Trading on coin exchange platforms, one can buy or sell the Bitcoin according to its market value at a given time interval, provided it has enough market liquidity. It is similar to trading on the share markets, but instead, a 24*7 process. Bitcoin is neither stable as stocks nor backed by any physical commodity or assets. You do not receive any physical assets but only receive the addresses of the digital assets that you have purchased. which can be secured in your crypto wallets. There are dedicated platforms such as Binance, Coinbase, Pionex, for the same purpose. But do check for transaction fees before you trade on any of these platforms. How to safeguard and store your Bitcoin. Just like we use wallets for safeguarding fiat currency, there are tools called digital Bitcoin wallets. These wallets store your public key and private keys. The public key acts as an address to your account. The private key sensitive key used as the password to access your wallet. Anybody who has access to your private key can spend the associated cryptocurrency. The different types of wallets. 1. Desktop wallets. 2. Mobile wallets. 3. Online wallets. 4. Paper wallets. 5. Hardware wallets. Is it safe to invest in Bitcoin? Bitcoin is known to be quite volatile. Its value is subject to a supply-demand basis, as it has to have continuous transactions to keep its network active. Bitcoin is a bubble, said some industry leaders. The steep crash of BTC value, from nearly $20,000 per Bitcoin in December 2017 to around $3,000 in November of 2018 was catastrophic. However, Bitcoin did not stop or vanished after the free fall, yet stood like a mountain and rose to the highest ever levels. It is again trading at $35,000 in January 2021, after hitting an all-time high of more than $52,000 very recently. Since the previous crash, Bitcoin showcased a sense of stability with a slow and a steady growth, minimizing the volatility. And hence it attracted many other players from various sectors, and also many institutions also jumped in to secure their cash reserves. Currently, Bitcoin is among the top 20 fiat currencies in the world according to market cap, outshining the fiat currencies of many countries. Despite all the criticism, many early investors of Bitcoin are worth millions now. We advise you to study the market and invest based on your risk assessments. Advantages of Bitcoin. 1. Decentralized. As mentioned earlier, Bitcoin cannot be controlled, administered by any central authority, but is distributed among all peers worldwide. Bitcoin eliminated the intricacies of transactions in the current financial system that was trust-based transactions via banks. With the integration of blockchain technology, Bitcoin is being transacted on a peer-to-peer basis, eliminating third-party interference. 2. Ease. Blockchain also allows the digital assets to be transacted with much ease, as there is less paperwork and wait time for transaction confirmations. Since most of the processes are automated, there are very few issues related to human errors. 3. Economical. Since the fiat currency was centralized and there was no other option other than using banks or financial companies like PayPal, which charge a hefty percentage on transactions. Charging nominal transaction fees helps to address the issue. Bitcoin transactions are set at the time that the miners might accept. 4. Secure. No matter how secure the banks claim their systems would be, since human interference is necessary for verification processes, there are always risks of fraud and insecure transactions. But Bitcoin offers multi-layer crypto algorithms to evade the risk of illegally privatizing the majority of digital asset networks. Most importantly, there is the slightest involvement of humans, which eliminates the factor of human error. 5. Anonymity. It is a cause of concern that how much information is demanded by financial institutions for executing transactions. Your banking details or important identities may be stolen and misused. But using Bitcoin offers a feature to keep your identity anonymous that is valued by many. Bitcoin has been through a lot of ups and downs since its inception in 2009. Bitcoin is legal as a mode of payment and transaction in some countries like Japan, the USA, Singapore, Germany. Passed legislatures to allow trading Bitcoins to some countries where it is illegal to transact Bitcoins and other such currencies. People with interest term this as a great investment option, whereas some classify this as just another bubble, as Bitcoin has no solid backing of any kind. It is essential to keep continuous watch over LTP, last traded prices. It is strictly advised to do your due diligence before investing.